are joined now to hear a little bit more about this Huskers game by Brian Christopherson from the Lincoln Journal-Star. Brian, you were there in the locker room and talking to the guys after the game. What was the atmosphere like after the win against Indiana?
Well, they're happy to be 6-0, obviously, because it's the first time in 15 years that they've been 6-0. But there's also an understanding that they've got to fix some things. On the offensive side of the ball, frankly, they weren't very good against Indiana. In the second and third quarters, they only had 87 yards of offense. Then they turned it on late in the fourth quarter, as they've kind of done all season, and grinded out an 8-minute drive that was satisfying. But overall, the offensive performance didn't please those guys too much.
Heading into this Indiana game, there was a little bit of criticism about this Nebraska team and whether they should actually be in the top 10. And talking with some of the players after the game, you were tweeting out some of their responses to those criticisms, that they maybe actually heard some of those. What were the guys saying about the critiques or the criticisms of their ranking and their current overall status?
Yeah, I don't think guys mind just the debate on itself of if they're a top 10 team or not. I think they think that's fair, and they know that they've got to get better. What really bothered guys, you know, there was a particular national pregame show where they had a segment asking if Nebraska was for real and in the top 10. And a lot of guys saw that Saturday morning, and they thought they were just making a joke of Nebraska. It wasn't even a real conversation. And that's what really didn't sit well with guys. It's like, okay, you can have the debate about whether it's a top team or not, but let's not just make it a joke and act like it's not a consideration. And that definitely motivated guys Saturday. And I think you saw it on the defensive side of the ball. I mentioned the struggles on offense, but the Black Shirts probably played their best game of the season on Saturday, and were really inspired, I think, by some of the comments. So this is definitely a team, I think, that has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. They feel like, you know, they're undefeated, but people still don't think they're all that much. And they've got to prove it week to week. And, you know, they're going to get their shot in the next couple of weeks. They play Purdue on Saturday, and they're going to be shorthanded in that game. But then you go to Wisconsin, you go to Ohio State. Those are proving ground games where you can tell the country we are, in fact, for real. So the opportunity is there for them.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.